tap, snap, or nap. These are your options. My name is Justin Davis, and I'm an Army Combat Instructor for the United States Army. Today I'm going to be giving you a 2 to 5 minute speech on the Modern Army Combatives program and why we chose Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as its base. We're going to start off with a quick motivator to demonstrate what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can do in a hand-to-hand combat situation. So as you can see, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the technique style, you close the distance and becomes a grappling match, and all the striking becomes ineffective because there's no distance to create power. So let's talk about where Jiu-Jitsu came from for the military. It came from Sergeant First Class Larson in the 2nd Ranger Battalion. In 1995, the general consensus among the Army Rangers was that our current hand-to-hand fighting techniques was going to be ineffective when tested in combat. So the 2nd Ranger Battalion commander charged Sergeant First Class Larson with the task of developing and implementing a new fighting technique for their battalion, which ended up growing to be the Army. Chosen. Like I was saying before, the reason it was chosen is it gives the smaller opponent the ability to beat larger opponents. It takes out the striking, and also by taking out the striking, it allows soldiers or civilian personnel the ability to train at 100% without risking injury. It's not like boxing or Muay Thai kickboxing, Kempo karate, taekwondo, or things of that nature, where you can only do it to an extent that's going to cause injury. You can grapple over and over and over, and the only thing you're going to suffer is fatigue, unless you get a little overzealous and injure somebody, but that's why we have safeties put in place. Jiu-Jitsu, champion of techniques. I'm going to elaborate on why it's the champion of techniques, as well as why Sergeant First Class Larson chose it. In the early stages of the UFC, it wasn't like it is today, where we have mixed martial arts. It was a free-for-all fighting techniques, fighting in a tournament until one fighting style emerged as champion. And in the early stages, the results were the same. Tournament after tournament after tournament, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Royce Gracie was champion at the end of the tournament. They defeated every fighting style there was with the best fighters from around the world. Anything from Olympic wrestlers to world champion boxers. Helio Gracie, Royce Gracie's father, is the founding father of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And what happened was, as a child, he was told he couldn't practice Japanese Jiu-Jitsu with his other classmates and his siblings because of his size. He was very small, about 120 pounds. So when that happened, what he did was he used to sit in the training while they would learn Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, which is a very similar fighting style, but it's more developed around overpowering people to get the technique. So he developed ways where he could do the same fighting style techniques, but using only technique to accomplish these things. So that's how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was born. And when he chose his son Royce Gracie to represent Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in these tournaments, it wasn't because Royce Gracie was his best pupil. He actually had an older brother who used to dominate him on a regular basis. Royce Gracie was chosen because of his size. He was 6'2", 170 pounds, defeating people who had over 100 pounds on him in some cases, fighting 4 times a night, no rounds, no weight classes. So time and time again, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu championed the fighting techniques. In conclusion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just proved to be the best fighting technique for the needs of the Army. Sergeant First Class Larson, 2nd Ranger Battalion are the reason we have these in place today. If not for them, we'd probably still be using the old fighting techniques of the past. And I want to leave you with a question. Ask yourself this. If you were charged with the task of stacking up on a door, going into a building, and having to clear room after room after room, would you want to be trained with the most up-to-date, most effective hand-to-hand combat technique we have to offer? Think about that as you leave today. With that in conclusion, that concludes my speech. Thank you for your time.